Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our June webinar for Visit NC. We're so excited today. We're going to talk a lot about Outdoor NC 2.0, where we've been, where we're going, and some really exciting things happening. So we will get right into it, and we can go to the next slide, please. So what is outdoor and where did we come from? As many of you probably know, if you've been on this journey with us, back when the pandemic started, we saw an uptick in everybody coming to our outdoor spaces and not understanding that they may not be a theme park with employees there to help us preserve them. So we partnered with the North Carolina Outdoor Recreation Industry Office, as well as Leave No Trace, to get some insight into how we can preserve what we've always been promoting, which is natural beauty and soft adventure throughout the state. So this has gone on for 3 years now. We actually did the research starting in 2020, launched the program in April of 2021. So it's time for us to take account of what we've done and figure out where we're going to go from here. Next slide, please. And so from here, we've got some great things to talk about, and I'm going to turn it over to Amanda Baker now, who is going to be handling the Outdoor NC day-to-day operations.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for allowing us to do the little transition there. The name does say Heidi Walters, but I in fact am Amanda Baker, and I am part of the Partner and Industry Relations team here at Visit NC. Just to give you a little bit of background, Heidi did a great background on where we started. Outdoor NC is actually part of the family of brands within Visit North Carolina and managed by the Partner and Industry Relations team. This is a partner-led destination stewardship initiative designed to educate visitors and residents on recreating responsibly. This program is based on research. We started our partnership with Leave No Trace by conducting a survey, looking at the perception of current recreational trends and patterns, the perceptions of current recreation-related impacts, current techniques used to address these impacts, and the goals of developing a statewide Leave No Trace program. Next slide, please. So this is a program based on research. Based on the research we conducted, we were able to design a program with strategic vision, defining activities, output, short-term and long-term outcomes, creating and setting benchmarks to track our success. From there, we developed a partner alliance program to enable other destinations and organizations within the state to have a low barrier of entry to access the intellectual property of Leave No Trace. We led several virtual listening sessions with stakeholders across the state to learn about their outdoor recreation challenges and opportunities, and helping us identify responsible marketing messaging and customize Leave No Trace language to assist in educating visitors in our outdoor spaces and preventing unnecessarily recreation impacts, allowing us as a state to share a unified message that speaks to our unique spaces. Next slide. Through these listening sessions, we also created a space for stakeholders to share their asset needs and the resources that would be beneficial in helping and sharing this unified message. So we created a toolkit based on that feedback and included guidelines on how to enjoy North Carolina's outdoors responsibly, social media samples, posters, graphics, and logos to help our partners in sharing that message, and also customized language within the 7 principles that speak to the ethical behavior of specific outdoor activities, including mountain biking, fishing, pets, and the coastal experience. Next slide. So we've done a lot in the last few years. Outdoor NC continues to grow with 52 partners currently participating. We've had 4 in-person Leave No Trace trainings conducted across the state with destination marketing organizations and destination management organizations. All of North Carolina state welcome centers have also engaged in promoting outdoor NC with signage at the welcome centers, as well as online learnings and trainings. We've had over 7,500 people who have taken the Outdoor NC Pledge. And we've leveraged the Visit NC audience by integrating the Outdoor NC messaging across all channels. We've been able to expand our reach to an e-news audience of over 1,000 subscribers on a monthly basis. And Outdoor NC specific web landing pages and traffic to that page is up 132% year to date. We've also had over 1 million impressions on organic social media related to our Outdoor NC posts specifically. This spring, Outdoor NC rolled out our first consumer campaign. It includes this is a paid consumer campaign. It includes paid social, sponsored custom content, display, digital video, and more. We've had 6 influencers with Outbound Collective traveling across the state. 4 of those 9 essential road trip guides have already been published. And so far, we're seeing excellent traction with high engagement, including the social components with reels being shared and saved for future planning of their vacations. Next slide, please. So what we've really done here is laid the groundwork, and we're excited about the future evolution of Outdoor NC. This program goes beyond just recreating responsibly in our outdoor spaces. It's a destination stewardship initiative that impacts a variety of stakeholders in the state. Next. We're evolving the program to include more resources for all types of organizations that want to be engaged, including those on the screen here. And we're looking beyond our outdoor spaces to other opportunities for destinations and stewardship marketing. We're evolving the program and we're really excited about that. And this is where I'm going to introduce a couple of our partners that will be helping us with the evolution of this great Outdoor NC program. So we'll have Bobby Chappelle with Tourism Economics, as well as Nate and Derek from Uproar, who are going to be sharing more about this program. Uproar is going to be sharing specifically about the evolution of the Outdoor NC Partner Alliance program. So I'll turn it over to Nate and Derek.
And good morning, everybody. I'm Nate Jordan with Uproar Concepts, and my partner Derek is here with me. We're excited to introduce Outdoor NC 2.0 to you and detail a little bit about the first flagship program, which is our Partner Alliance program. But first off, I wanted to share a little bit to set things up. Last fall, Bobby Chappelle and Tourism Impact Services conducted quite a bit of research, global, national, and state level. And he's going to join us a little bit later to share some details and some of his reporting from that. But the big outcome from all of this is Outdoor NC 2.0 and our suite of new flagship programs. Next slide, please. So I'm going to share a little bit about our first flagship program, of which there are multiple, and that is what we're calling the Make It Your Nature, Leave No Trace Partner Program. So this is a paid partnership program, and it has been sort of reimagined and reintegrated into Outdoor NC with a variety of new offerings. It's multi-tiered, and the first tier of the program is what we're calling the Pioneer level. And as you'll see here, there are multiple bullets that detail the incentives that are integrated into this level. You'll be able to utilize the Outdoor NC logo for communications and educational efforts. You'll obtain usage rights for the 7 principles of Leave No Trace to form a lasting connection with nature. You'll get a 10% discount on educational materials and merchandise from the Leave No Trace store. Your organizational logo will be featured on a new redesigned Outdoor NC website, which we are currently beginning to develop. And you'll gain access to our Outdoor NC toolkit, which has a variety of marketing tools, assets, and educational materials, which is currently being reimagined and updated. And we'll be launching a new version of that toolkit in Q4 of this year. Derek's going to join me a little bit later to share some more details about that. You'll also get access to our destination stewardship learning tools, labs, and resources. And Bobby's going to share some more information about that later on. And next slide, please. The cost for this is $300. Next, we have our tier 2. So everything you see detailed here is included in this level of the partner program, as well as everything I just detailed as part of the partner tier 1 level. So you'll see we have discounts on the outdoor NC co-op marketing opportunities, which were presented this year at NC 365. A custom outdoor NC itinerary for your area. You'll also get access to the Outdoor NC Leave No Trace Guide Workshop Series, which is also new. And I failed to mention in the previous slide, we're highlighting in bold here all of the new, completely new programs that we're integrating. The Guide Workshop Series is a new tool that's designed to interface and educate those folks who are directly working with folks who are visiting destinations in your area, or guides, so to speak. We'll equip them with tools that they can use to integrate a seamless message about Outdoor NC and Leave No Trace into the experiences that they offer. So whether it be a paddling experience or rock climbing or mountain biking or just a simple hike, they'll be able to be educated through that program. And Derek's going to share a little bit more about that later on. You'll also gain access to another new program, the Outdoor NC Cleanup Kit Project. You'll get 10 cleanup kits as part of this level. Again, Derek's going to share some more info about this, but just quickly high level, this will include 10 cleanup kits, which can accommodate multiple participants. It will be a custom pack that includes all the necessary materials that you would need to execute a cleanup, as well as how-to guides that will be included in each cleanup kit that will help guide you on how to organize something like this and really take the Outdoor NC stewardship message and put it into action. The cost for this tier is $1,000. Next slide. And lastly, we have tier 3, which we're calling the Guardian level. And again, it includes all of the offerings that I've mentioned so far in the Pioneer and Champion level. And in addition, our partners will receive one Instagram story feature that spotlights that partner on the Visit NC Instagram page. This is a limited offering. There are only 12 spots available, 1 per month. And sign up will be on a first come, first served basis. The partners will choose the season that they'd like to participate in if it's available, and Outdoor NC will choose the month. You'll also be able to use the Leave No Trace organization's copyright language, including 7 principles of Leave No Trace and the Outdoor NC principles, and the associated messaging as it relates to Outdoor NC. We'll review your existing materials using Leave No Trace's copyright language and intellectual property, if you like. And then also another new program that we're very excited about, we're going to integrate a high impact area permanent signage assessment for these partners that will include a consultation and a review of any existing signage you have using Leave No Trace's copyright language and intellectual property. And we'll also be offering some custom solutions as it relates to those high impact areas. Up to 5 sites can be included in that program. And lastly, the Outdoor NC Cleanup Kit project is also offered at this level with an increase of 25 cleanup kits per partner. And we're also going to offer custom co-branding with our partners at this level so that the packs and cells that will be part of the cleanup kits will be able to feature Outdoor NC branding as well as your brand. And the cost for this level is $4,000. So now I'm going to turn it over to Derek, and he's going to share a little bit more about what we're calling our statewide partners.
Hey, everybody. I'm Derek DeLuzio, and I just want to touch on a new program that we're offering that really focuses on businesses, nonprofits and other statewide entities. So this is more of a focus away from TDAs and DMOs and towards, like I said, nonprofits and businesses. I'm not going to go through every one of these bullets because Nathan has already spoken on a high level about on all of these. But one bullet that I definitely want to highlight is that first one, which is individual brand collaboration opportunities to be discussed and defined with partners. So the idea behind this is that we want to collaborate with nonprofits, with brands, and with statewide entities so that you guys can leverage Outdoor NC as a co-branded message through all different types of ideas. So we're happy to collaborate on a case-by-case basis with you guys on how we can help support those messaging. And it's really important also, you'll notice there is no specific price on the statewide partner program because this will be built as an a la carte offering. So we know that no two nonprofit business or entities are the same. We want you to be able to look through these bullet points and say, we would like any number or any single one of these offerings, and through Amanda, we will go ahead and negotiate a custom package for you. Next slide, please. So I would like to drill down a little bit more on the idea, on these new ideas that we've come up with for our toolkit. So Nathan and I sat down and listened to all of the listening sessions that were conducted over the past year, and we took notes and came up with some solutions for the most requested solutions that you guys are looking for. So one of the first things we came up with was this idea of a cleanup kit project, excuse me. We will offer obviously these kits to Guardian level and beyond, and also for everybody on an a la carte basis, excuse me. And these kits are really an opportunity for you guys to implement Leave No Trace and Outdoor NC messaging through a fun experience. So it's not necessarily a hurdle or a new rule, it's just a really fun way to get out and participate with our messaging. These guides will also offer a how-to guide on how to implement a cleanup project so that you're not left out on your own. And it will be fun and engaging and something that I think everybody will love. In addition to that, signage was a huge point of interest from those listening sessions. So we came up with a couple ideas to hopefully help mitigate and address those concerns. The first plan is to put together permanent signage templates that will live in the partner toolkit, where you guys can implement those as you see fit through your locations. In addition to that, we are happy to assess and develop custom signage for your locations in your high impact areas. We hope to implement that in Q4 of 2023. Beyond that, we really know that each location that you guys have different needs from an implementation standpoint. So we are happy to design and help put together custom recycle bins, or potentially fishing line disposal receptacles, or anything that is site specific to a problematic area in your territory. So in addition, we're really hoping to offer a really robust brand collaboration opportunity for all of our existing partners. This is really open to our champion, Guardian, and statewide level partners. We will individually discuss goals and assess and customize opportunities to leverage you all and the Outdoor NC brand. It's really a fun way to put together and leverage our messaging. And hopefully diversify and expand those messaging into new and into new user groups, which we're looking forward to. Our toolkit updates will be completely refreshed. We are going to be putting together a new set of creative, as well as we mentioned before, new signage, all kinds of really robust and useful updates for you guys to implement in your territories. Next slide, please. All right, additionally speaking, we are going to revamp the Outdoor NC sweepstakes. Our new sweepstakes is going to run annually and also quarterly. So what we want to do is incentivize you all to get involved. And basically, we're hoping to feature outdoor brands on a quarterly basis and integrate those prizes into the website and into the
annual offering too.
The annual offering too, sorry. Yeah. Or into the pledges. So we want to incentivize pledges, through the quarterly prizes, and then ultimately on the annual prize, the grand prize, we're going to feature one destination across the state and offer a trip to that participant. So as you all get interested in all these new offerings, we'll encourage you guys to reach out to Amanda. Her email is here at the bottom. And at this point, I'd like to hand it over to Bobby Chappelle to talk about a little bit more about Outdoor NC 2.0.
Hey, thanks, Derek and Nate for setting that up. What I want to do now is start looking even further down the road a little bit to some of the new programming, which we're going to add, really kind of build off of the work that's happened so far with the Make It Your Nature, Leave No Trace partnership, and really start to expand that into some new topics to provide, learning opportunities for stakeholders around North Carolina. What is really important and where I kind of want to start right now is just, I think everybody on the webinar probably recognizes this, but outdoor recreation tourism is big business in North Carolina. And during our research, which we did a very good amount of research, which I'll get to in a minute, we did a state-by-state comparison of North Carolina with regional destinations like Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, and Virginia. And we also kind of looked at other outdoor epicenters like Colorado and Oregon and Utah. What we found is North Carolina is really outperforming all of these competitors across multiple indicators. Things like visitor spending, to the tune, like for the tourism industry as a whole for North Carolina, $33 billion. The outdoor economy in North Carolina is a $12 billion industry as well. North Carolina is also fortunate to have an Office of Outdoor Recreation. There's the partnership with Leave No Trace, a state-operated green travel program. And of course, North Carolina is celebrating the year of the trail. So clearly, outdoor recreation, a major tourism product for North Carolina. We also found that among overnight visitors from out of state, 58% are taking part in an outdoor recreation activity when they visit. So again, just really important to the tourism industry in North Carolina. Which is why the stewardship of these resources is so important for the future of the tourism industry. And so we're really hoping to think about an expanded suite of programming to build on principles of destination stewardship, of responsible visitation, and sustainable tourism, all of which really in their most simple terms is about creating balance. And so when we talk about destination stewardship, we're talking about bringing together community allies to think about balance between resident quality of life and visitor experience with responsible travel and responsible visitation. That's about finding balance where visitors can balance the enjoyment of local heritage and natural assets with respect for community assets and, and community livelihoods as well. And sustainable tourism is that idea of thinking about industry operations, balancing economic returns with social responsibility and environmental conservation. Next slide, please. And so, I think as everybody here knows, that the year of the trail has really solidified North Carolina as the great trails state. And this is because trails are increasingly popular, but they do mean much more than just outdoor recreation activities, because trails can connect us to nature, to community, to culture and history. And in North Carolina, we have trails like the state designated trails like Mountains to Sea. We've got trails like the Appalachia Trail that runs through the state. You've got trails on Forest Service land, Park Service land. But when we talk about trails in North Carolina, we can also really emphasize all of the greenways and the efforts around like the Great Trail State Plan, trying to connect all 100 counties in the state through a trail system. Also the blue ways and blue trails that are pretty prevalent across the state. But even more so, trails in North Carolina are also focused on culture and history and experiences. There's the Main to Main, kind of Main Street to Main Street trail, things like the Oyster Trail or the Farm Heritage Trail, cultural trails like the New Moonshine and Motorsports Trail, the Science Trail. Really, when you think about trails in that broader sense, trails touch every community in North Carolina. Next slide, please. And so knowing this, like this new kind of commitment from North Carolina, Visit North Carolina to really focus on stewardship, knowing how important trails are and outdoor recreation and outdoor assets, is what we went into this doing was to really make sure that we were coming at our research from a lot of different directions. So what we started with was looking at programs, kind of destination programming from around the world, looking at global, national, as well as state programming. We looked at over at 87 programs that were offered from DMOs and NGOs, academia, and more, just really trying to get a sense of what kind of programs were out there, and understanding what programs were best in class and why they were best in class. We were really trying to understand that. But that wasn't enough. We wanted to make sure that the programming really suited the needs and desires of the stakeholders throughout the state that would be using this type of programming. So we went on to conduct a number of interviews with over 40 stakeholders, mostly from North Carolina, but from other places around the country as well. All of that information, along with the programming analysis, informed the development of a tourism stakeholder questionnaire that went out. I think it was right at the beginning of the year. We had really good response from that, from like 121 responses from across the state. We felt this was a really good showing, really representative. 47% of the respondents were like destination managers, TDAs, DMOs, CVBs. 24% were businesses, and 12% of respondents were from nonprofits and other organizations like that. Also saw a good representation across the state with, I think it was 22% from the mountains, 41% of respondents were from the Piedmont, and 36 were from the coast. And what this really gave us was, just incredibly informed information directly from stakeholders that were going to be using these programs. What we were trying to do were understand preferences as well as sentiment on stewardship concepts. Next slide, please. So, one of the things that we found out was that, clearly North Carolina tourism stakeholders believe that stewardship is important for the industry and for local communities. So 71% of respondents felt that environmental conservation policies could have a positive impact on the tourism industry. 71% also agreed that communications regarding responsible visitation could have a positive impact for residents. And that 80% of respondents felt that the community values and that sense of place is really what makes North Carolina a great place to visit and to live. So really trying to make sure that the stewardship of these resources, it isn't just about visitors and tourism, it's about community and resident, kind of really having that pride in their communities and where they live and that access to those outdoor resources. Next slide. When it came to programming, we found that stakeholders overwhelmingly supported stewardship-oriented programming, with it's kind of a whopping 98% of respondents being interested in professional development and continuing education. So that was really exciting to see. We also saw that 78% of respondents are interested in like a designation type of a program, being recognized for raising the bar. 82% of the DMOs felt that their organizations, should go beyond just marketing and do more to help manage their destinations and their outdoor resources. And 52% of respondents have participated in some kind of community-led planning program. And those numbers are really good, but this is where we get to see a lot of really good opportunities and action happen. So we thought that would be something, making sure that we can keep increasing that number over time. Few other things that we learned: that the programming, it really needed to be efficient, it needed to be accessible and affordable, and importantly, it needed to be applicable to industry challenges and opportunities. We also learned that this idea of kind of blending online learning with in-person experiential workshops and peer-to-peer learning was ideal. Also interesting, kind of learned that 45 minutes is a sweet spot for webinars. So this is all information that we're trying to keep as we build programming out moving forward. And overall, the greatest barriers for participation, this should come as no surprise, staff time, capacity, and funding. But with good, strong incentives, that could certainly increase participation. Next slide. And then the other thing that we kind of knew going in from just conversations, from our interviews with Visit NC staff and other North Carolina stakeholders, we knew that this programming needed to, tick a number of boxes. It needed to be valuable to local economy. So it needed to benefit the tourism industry. It needed to be supported by North Carolina stakeholders. We didn't want to build something that nobody would have interest in utilizing. It needed to be relevant to the entire state, from the mountains to the coast and all points in between. The programming really had to be relevant to everyone. We also wanted this programming and the outcomes of this programming to be a point of differentiation for the North Carolina tourism industry. It needed to inform statewide marketing. So all of this really is about communications and being able to improve communications. And also importantly, we wanted to make sure that this could touch on all of the other statewide initiatives that are happening right now. So there is a lot of really good work happening across the state. So we're not trying to recreate any of that. We're wanting to make sure that we can find different ways to leverage all of this different work. So next slide, please. So as Nate and Derek introduced, Outdoor NC 2.0 is really about the next evolution of the program and really establishing a number of flagship programs. So they introduced the Make It Your Nature, the Leave No Trace Partner program. The other two programs that I'm really excited to introduce today, the other two flagship programs, the first one is going to be Accessible Outdoors. So this is really about promoting access to all of the outdoor resources and assets that are available, that you know, we can find ways to promote these to people with all abilities. Then the Trail Town Designation Program. This is about celebrating North Carolina trail towns for, you know, really focusing on this idea of stewardship and balance within their community for the tourism and outdoor recreation industries. And again, trails mean a lot of things. So these aren't just you know, towns in the mountains that, you know, just have a wealth of Forest Service land around them. These include cultural trails, blue trails, and otherwise. So I will give you a little bit more information on these programs right now. So next slide. So the Accessible Outdoors program, this is really exciting. There's a lot of, you know, movement in this space right now. People are recognizing every day how important it is that our outdoor resources are more accessible to all people of all abilities. So we want to really kind of emphasize that and showcase different case studies of how other communities are using accessibility communications to help improve access to different outdoor resources and things like that. So this is going to start with a learning module, a learning lab, you know, where we are able to really create that, you know, that professional development, continuing education, learning around what accessible outdoors really means. We're going to provide participants with a trail and asset inventory tool where you can go in and start to catalog different trails in your community. And the idea here is that, you know, ADA compliance really has a very specific meaning as to what it is, which is great. And we want to really kind of encourage that as well. But what we're seeing more and more in this space is that access to information is the most powerful tool for people with disabilities. So being able to go out to a trail that probably is not ADA compliant, but might be accessible in a number of different ways, and just provide information about that trail, really being able to describe some specific things, you know, are there, you know, obstacles to be aware of, you know, what's the grade of the trail, things like that, you know, without, you know, kind of saying if it is or it isn't accessible, but you're going to provide users with information that they can then make decisions themselves on how they want to either use that trail or find another one. And then at the conclusion, again, all of this is about communication. So we want to provide a communication template on how TDAs and DMOs and CVBs can like share information out about these different trails that can be accessible in different ways when we think about that. All right, so next slide, please. And then the other program is this Trail Town designation, or the Trail Town designation program. So this really is kind of the capstone of programming for outdoor NC. The idea here is that the designation program will have a couple of steps that participants go through. The first one will be engaging in learning workshops and being able to just learn about these different concepts of stewardship and outdoor recreation and its intersection with tourism and communications. We're also going to introduce some stewardship best practices and provide examples on what TDAs and CBVs can do to show that they are actually implementing some of these best practices. Nothing kind of over the top or rigorous like a certification program, but really tangible, applicable practices that destinations can do. And in completing, the learning modules and what we're calling the stewardship charter, if you can successfully complete that, we're going to develop a specialized trail town visitor guide. And so this is really exciting. It's going to be kind of the real experiential type of a guide, be able to talk about some of the, the qualities of your trail town and really emphasize the different trails that you have available. Again, not just those trails on Forest Service lands or otherwise, or the state designated trails. These can be cultural trails. These can be local greenways. There's a lot of different things that trails mean. So we're hoping to encourage all communities to participate in this program and have the chance to be recognized in this guide. All right, so next slide, please. So where does this all start? What we're going to do is hold some in-person workshops this fall. So these are going to be one-day in-person workshops across the state. The purpose is going to be twofold. The first one is, we're going to provide a lot of information around destination stewardship and how you implement these best practices, and then how you can craft, doing these best practices, how that can help your communication strategies. We also want to take this opportunity to kind of present this information, but then to hear from you, like we still want to make sure that before any of this programming is considered finalized, that everybody still has a chance to comment on it. So as we present this information, we're going to have a real time, kind of in real time, hear from you, is this good? Are we touching on topics that are of interest to you? Should we go deeper here? Should we, cut this section? So there's a real opportunity for you to continue to participate in the development of this programming. The workshops, are going to also include the accessible outdoors session, and we want to try to include a peer-to-peer learning aspect to it as well. So hopefully whoever the host community is for these workshops will want to come up and present on the work that they are doing within their community, share it with other peers that are looking to do maybe similar work back in their own destinations. So if anyone is interested in hosting a workshop, please let us know. You can reach out to Amanda or you can reach out to myself. We are going to be kind of coming up with those hopeful locations here within the next month is what we want to do, so we can get those on the books and start promoting them. You can see that we've included the dates on the bottom. These are kind of, like 3-day increment dates that we're thinking about doing that kind of work with all of the Visit NC scheduling and whatnot. Hopefully we can do it across the state and we can get as many people here as possible. So on the coast, we're going to do 2 workshops, knowing that it can be difficult to get in and out of a lot of places there. So we want to kind of do one up towards the north, one towards the south. That'll be in around the dates of October 23rd to 25th. In the Piedmont, it's going to be November 1st to the 3rd. Try to find a very centralized location there. And in the mountains, we'll do that kind of that first week of December, last week in November, first week of December, November 29th to December 1st. So please save the dates. If anybody is interested in hosting one of these workshops, please feel free to reach out to us. Next slide, please. And so with that, looking ahead, here's what you can start to expect to see from us from these different programmings. So the this is kind of our, first announcement of the new programming, but we will come back on September the 7th for a follow-up webinar, which will really be getting into the details, very much like Nate and Derek shared with the partner program. We'll come back on September the 7th, that webinar, and really get into the details of what this programming is going to look like, and also start talking about the logistics of the learning workshops that we'll host in the fall. Also want to mention the Outdoor Economy Conference, which will be held in Cherokee, September 17th to the 23rd. We're hoping to do maybe an info session there. If nothing else, certainly invite all of the North Carolina outdoor stakeholders to come to that conference. It's growing into really like the leading national conference around the outdoor economy. So certainly encourage everyone to join. And hopefully on that first Monday before the conference starts, we'll be able to maybe put together an informal info session to bring everybody together to talk about the different programming. I see a question. The dates are the September 17th to the 23rd. We can certainly share that information out after the webinar. The learning sessions, as I mentioned, on the coast, we're going to do 2 in that week of October 23rd to 25th, be in the Piedmont November 1st to the 3rd. We'll land on a date and a location, and the mountains November 29th to December 1st. Knowing that maybe not everybody will be able to attend these workshops, it's certainly what we want to encourage. It's what we heard in our survey, is that the in-person workshops are preferred. So that's what we want to be able to offer. If anyone can't make it to those workshops, we will probably still hold an online workshop, a virtual one, right at the beginning of 2024, just to make sure everybody has a chance to access that information. Right after we do the virtual workshop and close out all the other workshops, we'll be able to start the designation program. This will be the part where you submit, kind of information about how you're doing some of these best practice in your community. It's going to be like kind of showing different communication campaigns and things like that you have. And this will be the process of making sure that everybody has done the requirements to be in the guide. We hope to launch the Accessible Outdoors campaign hopefully in Q2, so right there in the spring, and then the Trail Town Guide, looking to have that complete and rolled out early summer 2024. So again, this is all kind of very new. We're starting, launching, moving forward. More information is going to be coming on September the 7th. So with that, want to make sure that we leave enough time for questions and answers. So thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, and there were a few questions that came in. Just want to mention that the fall listening sessions are going to be free. There's no cost to attend those. Also, question about the outdoor NC marketing, focus more on out-of-state visitors like Visit NC or in-state visitors. Outdoor NC is marketing to both out-of-state visitors and in-state visitors. And we're looking to reach visitors when they're in that planning phase of the trip. So reaching them before they're in market, so they have the best experience when they are in market, but also complementing that with tools for our partners to use while in market too. There was also a question about if this webinar is being recorded, and yes, it is going to be recorded and available later as well. And I also want to give a shout out to World Oceans Day. Happy World Oceans Day, everyone. And I know Pender County, one of our outdoor NC partners, just got recognized for their clean program. So I want to give a shout out to them and highlight them. Is there any other questions? Let's see. Stephanie, I see you have some questions about the dates and interest in hosting. So if you want to shoot me an email, amanda.baker@visitnc.com, I can follow up with you on that, as well as Joanna with the dates in Cherokee for the Outdoor Economy Conference. I don't believe there are any other questions. Thank you all for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Excited about future opportunities for Outdoor NC and looking forward to partnering with you all as we move forward. For those of you that are already a part of the Partner Alliance and looking to revamp or be a part of the new program, again, feel free to reach out to me and we'll get you connected with the folks on our team. And for those that are already pre-signed up for the future program, I'll be in touch with these additional opportunities for you moving forward as well. Any other questions? Great. Don't forget, everyone, our next webinar is July 13th. So save the date. Again, 10 a.m. July 13th. Thank you all.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.